You guys know the problem with the E-Ride Pro SR? The front end is too low, the back is too high. Well, we were in the shop today and Lance was like, Reed, I think I found a solution to the problem.
Sometimes I am good for more than just how-to videos. I actually figured something out. Here we have a spacer that we can move to the top, which then lowers our fork crowns down and raises the front end up. So
we're going to give that a try today and see if it actually fixes it. We're super excited.
Yeah, we're going to get about that much rise, however much that is, and it's going to basically keep everything where it's at, handlebar-wise, but it's going to raise our frame up. So we're just going to do this, and that's going to help us out
this way
proportionally. So let's get into it. Here we go. We need our 5 mil. We're going to start loosening stuff.
I'm going back to work.
All right.
We're going to give this bike a doom or a boom.
Right now it's getting...
Wildflower fires. He gets 5 big booms.
Alright guys, right now this bike is a doom. We're about to see if it can become a boom.
Alright, here we go. Okay, this is going to be a how-to video. That was terrible.
A boom.
Guys, we're trying to be more entertaining here, but it's kind of...
This is all going in the edit.
We're working on it.
Get back to work, Lance.
Okay, so for this process, we're going to go back to being serious now. We need to remove our... Will you stop?
Oh! Protect your children.
Oh, no! Okay.
I'm tired. I'm going to lay down. Okay.
We need to remove our fender first off, so we're going to do that. It is a 4 mil Allen. You got 3 bolts under there. Likely you put this fender on when you built your own bike, so it's not that hard to remove. Just remove these 3 bolts and come back in a minute. Now we want to loosen this, 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 and this, and this, okay? So we're gonna start by loosening this bad boy. Get this loose, get this loose, get this loose. As you can see, I already loosened them. Now we're gonna loosen this, and this is a stem lock, so it has a rod that goes all the way underneath where your fender was. So that's why we took off the fender. We're gonna go ahead and take that out. You'll see, where'd that come from? I'm a magician. Okay, here we go. Okay.
Abracadabra, folks.
Yeah, abracadabra. Here is our stem lock. This is a very low quality stem lock, but it's nice that it has it.
You can buy really high quality ones on tbelectricmoto.com.
Now we're gonna loosen our side bolts now that we got our stem lock out. Now we need to start being careful here because our fork lowers and our wheel can just fall out at this point and fall down to the floor. So the way I have it set up on this stand here, we're pretty well set. Once those are loose, now we can technically pull this up. It's going to take a little bit of persuasion, but we can work it up. So it's coming loose. You can take your wheel off to make this an easier process, but we're just doing it like this. Okay, so here we go. We're almost off. Oh, okay. So now we're gonna slide this whole stem off. We're gonna be a little careful here, and we're gonna take this spacer, remove it. Okay, now we're gonna put this back on. So all we did was remove the spacer. Now, at some point, you have to loosen your side lower leg clamps. This will allow each leg to actually push up because we're going to have to move where they are clamped because of moving where our spacer was. We're most of the way through the process, but it's getting difficult to move each leg individually and actually get it set up exactly where it needs to be. So we're going to go ahead and remove our wheel because this will be much easier. I was just trying to be able to do it without it, and you can, but it's just more challenging. Okay guys, so what your goal is here is to get all of it loose so that you can get your headset bearing pressed all the way up, and so that this clamp can be all the way down. And what that's going to mean is that your steering post is going to be just a little bit above the top of your stem. Now for your stem lock to work properly, you actually have to have a gap. So you're going to have to take that spacer, stick it right here, because that stem lock can't sit flush on top of this, otherwise it won't be doing its job. There has to be a gap. So we have to set that on there. Then we're going to grab our stem lock again, and we're going to put it back. So you guys saw how we removed this. We're going to put this right here, and we're going to put this down in the bottom. Okay, and we're going to grab our 5mm. All right, guys, we got our stem lock in, and here's a tip for you. It is significantly easier if you put your spacer and your stem lock and your bolt straight in and you hold them tight with like an Allen wrench or something, and you reach the bottom piece in and you just go straight up in and thread it on. If you try to hold the bottom piece in and get this piece in from the top, it's extremely difficult to line up. So what we're going to do is we're going to tighten this down, but we're not going to go real tight. All this does is preload our bearings. So if you go too tight, your steering is going to be too tight. So you need to be kind of spinning it like I am here at the same time. We're going to leave it right there. So now what we need to do, now our crowns aren't going to fall out, but our legs are still loose. And now we want to slide the front end down. So you see our legs are sticking up a lot right now because that's what we kind of needed to do to get it oriented. Now we're going to push our legs down. So each leg, we still have both bolts loose. We'll push those down, and now we're going to tighten them. So we'll tighten. I like to do them, just go back and forth. That also makes it easier with the wheel out. You can slide each leg down individually. All right, those legs are tight. Now we're going to tighten up our stem. Now we could have done that in the opposite order. That doesn't really matter. Some of you guys are going to think that this is ugly. Who cares? It's raising the front end of your bike up, and that's good. Okay, now we can just put our fender back on and our front wheel back on, and we'll be good to go. And the front end of our bike is now however much that spacer was higher, which will make a big difference in the feel of it. All right, we got the bike all put back together and down on the ground here. It does feel different. When I sit on it, the front end does feel higher up and better. It doesn't feel, now to make it clear here, the bars are not higher up, just the frame moved. So like from here to the ground is the same height, and from here to the ground is the same height, but our frame, you know, that's a chunk of metal like this, moved up however much difference that spacer was. So that's just going to twist us back a little bit, which does feel better in my opinion. We have to go ride this on a trail to really know how much of a difference it really made. It's a blizzard right now and our trails are covered in snow, so we can't do that. But this has got to make a difference. So if this was helpful to you, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching the TB Electric channel. Catch you next video. See ya.